Welcome back to Gaming Talks, where we give you gaming opinions and news, apparently, in 7 to 8 minutes. Now, I wasn't originally going to make a video about this. Again, a little bit of backstory for me. My name's Tootin. I'm your host. I run a channel of my own, which is primarily based around Dead by Daylight now and asymmetrical games in general, but I originally ran a Mortal Kombat channel. That's what it started as. We started out covering Mortal Kombat 11 near when Aftermath came out, so I was a big part of this community. I kept up with news, I kept up with the developers, I kept up with pretty much everything. And there is always, like, since I've dived deeper into that side of NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat, where I'm looking further into things, I'm looking into the company, I'm looking into the developers and what they're saying, and the community as a whole based around their league personas, or personalities, sorry, which is primarily Ed Boon. I've noticed a lot of strange things, and, well, I've always thought the company was a little bit despicable for one reason or another, especially some of the people at the top, and, well, my suspicions have, for the most part, been confirmed by a leak and by a few other things that have been said. So, we're not going to fully, like, break down every word of this, but I'm going to give you guys the basic overview of what's being said and what's going on. Basically, there was this leak that came out. Of course, it's always a leak on 4chan when it comes to Mortal Kombat for some freaking reason. Anyway, basically, this is talking about how Mortal Kombat, or NRS in particular, is one of the most toxic work environments in the gaming industry. This person was talking about making $13 an hour, and some other people who were working there that got sacked were making $15 and as low as $11 an hour, and they abruptly got let go. But basically, they're saying in this post, you know, if you want to stay employed there, you have to be yes men for the higher ups. If you want to be a higher up, you have to be a yes man for Ed, Dominic, etc., talking about some of the higher ups in NetherRealm Studios. And one of the most despicable comments from this says, since we were working from home, our login credentials were revoked within the hour. I was told we were lucky to get our week's pay. And they're talking about in this leak, of course, it's leaking another game. I guess we'll find out how, you know, credible this specific thing is. There's another very credible thing that we're going to go over, but we'll find out how credible this is around when this announcement's supposed to happen, which is probably the 9th of this month. So it's basically talking about a repackaged Mortal Kombat 11, basically a Mortal Kombat 11 Part 2, which is a horrible idea, and it shows how out of touch NetherRealm Studios is with their community regardless. But this kind of sheds a lot of light here. To give you guys an idea, NetherRealm Studios is based out of Chicago. If you guys don't know, the cost of living in Chicago is a lot higher. Chicago's minimum wage is actually $15 an hour. And to give you the example here, you know, the cost of living is a lot higher than in Virginia, where I'm at. And in Virginia, this guy's talking about making $13 an hour. Others were making minimum wage in Chicago, in a Chicago-based company, which is $15 an hour, and some were making as low as $11 an hour. And I'm assuming this is probably on salary, more than likely, but regardless, that doesn't really matter in my opinion, because the cost of living is still higher there. It should be based on what minimum wage is. I've never been on a salary, so I've never cared to understand how it works, but that just makes, you know, logical sense. Why would anyone work a salaried job that's making less than minimum wage, when I'm assuming McDonald's workers get paid around minimum wage in Chicago, so you could go make more money working at McDonald's than you could working for NetherRealm Studios. But regardless, here in Virginia, the minimum wage, when I was working as a sheet metal apprentice, was about $7.25, I believe, and I was making about $12 an hour, so I was making more as a sheet metal apprentice in Virginia than some of these game developers in Chicago with a $15 minimum wage. $15 an hour minimum wage we're making, which is absolutely despicable and disgusting to me. That is actually ridiculous. And there were actually a few more things that came out kind of backing the credit of this in Chicago, on Indeed, and on Glassdoor.com, talking about being paid $12 an hour for a master degree level software engineer. That is absolutely insane. You actually see NetherRealm salaries right here. Associate artist salaries, 4 salaries reported, $13 an hour. QA analyst salaries, $13 an hour. Software engineer salaries, $110,000 a year. Associate producer salaries, $59,418 a year. That is ridiculous to me. But mainly the top two. I mean, whether it's salary or not, you're still making $2 less than minimum wage. On a master's degree, you could go out and work at McDonald's for the minimum wage in Chicago, which is $15 an hour, and make more money flipping burgers at McDonald's than you can from going through college and working for a game dev like NetherRealm Studios. That is just actually ridiculous and disgusting to me. But regardless, that's not really it. They've hired on known Reddit bullies onto their community managers team, and I'm not going to call any names out, but they know who they are. Content creators know who they are. Who the person who got hired on as a community manager, who was a known Reddit bully for other content creators that they just personally didn't like, taking down positive posts about those creators, just taking down anything about those creators. So they, I guess, didn't get any spotlight over there. But this also comes out in their content creator clique, as I like to call it, as well. There are a few content creators at the top of NetherRealm Studios that seem to always be promoted by Ed Boon, the big man. You hardly see anyone else promoted over there. They've gone as far as to call out other content creators personally on a Twitter account with over 600,000 followers, just for a backhanded kind of insult, but a backhanded love ya at the end. So basically, if you're not a yes man, if you're not posting constant videos of just gameplay or buying their stuff or just talking about how incredible they are, you don't really get promoted by them. There are tons of creators out there and tons of people within the community that are doing amazing things, like Hot Rod Crusher with the his tournament series that he runs. I've talked to Hot Rod a few times. I was actually going to do something with them and then just got busy and kind of ghosted Hot Rod and felt bad for it. Sorry. Either way, there's a ton of people in the community who are doing amazing things, keeping the game alive, but they're not entirely yes man. They're not doing everything according to how Ed and NetherRealm Studios want it completely run, so they're not getting any promotion whatsoever. These people who are single-handedly keeping the game alive, compared to 30,000 views here and there of just someone making an O face in their thumbnail buying things. You know, it's ridiculous to me. But regardless, they have this clique of about 3 or 4 content creators. They get non-stop promotion because they are always being positive, and there's nothing wrong with always being positive. There's really not, but you know, you can definitely, and it's nothing really against the creators, but it's definitely something against NetherRealm, because that's where their direction always points to promotion. If you say anything bad about Mortal Kombat, if you talk about news, you talk about leaks here and there, popular leaks, whether you're deconfirming them or not, you don't really get any credit or recognition for what you put into the community. And not everybody wants that, but not all of the content that the yes people put out is always engaging or starts conversation, while there's a ton of other people like single-handedly keeping the game alive, starting conversations, starting discussions, healthy discussions, you know, and it's just nowhere to be seen. So I don't know, man. I haven't been a fan of NRS for a long time. I assume within the probably next year or so, there's probably going to be a lot more stuff come out, because this has slowly been building up, I believe. And I mean, this is just the first big piece of information. I'd say with this coming out, we'll probably learn more here soon, but this by itself is just despicable. I want you guys to let me know what you think, though. This is sort of a rant tangent video, but I was a part of this community for a very long time. I hate to know that the devs who are actually putting in the work are getting kind of shafted, for lack of a better word, and the devs who are sitting on top tweeting about, you know, go Chiefs and shit, you know, they're making the bank, not having to worry about anything, while everyone who's putting in the hard work is just, nah, they're just out the door. That shit sucks, man. Anyways, my name is Tugan. I've been your host. I'll see you next time on Gaming Talks. Peace out.